Hello everyone, I am Annie and this is my recap of week 1 in AP Psychology. So first of all, the word psychology can be broken down into the root word psyche, which means mind or behavior, and the suffix ology, which means the study of. Through this etymology, psychology can thus be defined as the study of mind or behavior. Now, psychology is a study that originated from philosophy and theology or religion, and this is because both philosophy and theology ask questions about the human mind, consciousness, existence, and other topics that psychology touches on. Nevertheless, in the 1800s, the field of psychology emerged as scientists used the scientific method to address these problems. So the use of the scientific method in psychology is exactly why psychology can be considered a science. Psychologists will thus use the process of observation, hypothesis, experiment, and analysis to find answers to questions about the human mind, development, cognition, and more. Each of these topics tie back to three main fields: bio, psycho, and social. Bio refers to the biological aspect of psychology, psycho refers to the way people think, and social refers to social expectations, values, or circumstances. And each of these three fields make up most of the questions which psychologists sought to answer. Next, there are many questions, areas, and topics that psychology studies. So here are some examples. Firstly, cognitive psychology mainly focuses on mental processes that occur in the human brain. It could ask questions regarding attention, such as what are the factors that influence attention in different individuals, or does listening to music impact concentration and attention span? Another area of psychology is social psychology, and this refers to how individuals are affected by social situations or environments. And this could ask questions about peer pressure or group dynamics, such as what causes people to conform to group norms, or how do stereotypes and prejudice form. One last example of psychology is developmental psychology, which studies psychological growth and development across varying ages and stages of life. This could include questions such as what impact does aging have on cognitive functions, or at what stage of development do attachment styles start to develop. There are a lot more topics and areas that psychology covers, but these are just some examples. Psychology can also be presented in daily life in many ways. For example, the emotions we feel all have something to do with psychology and our brains. And another example is our persona, which refers to how we act in public and how it compares to our true selves. And learning and memory are also major aspects of psychology in daily life, as psychology studies how we learn and remember things. Again, there are a lot more topics and areas in daily life that psychology covers, but these are just some examples. Finally, the last thing we did in week 1 of AP Psychology was research methods. We discussed 6 different research methods. Firstly, experimental designs. This refers to normal scientific experiments. However, there are many types, such as laboratory experiments, which study a cause and remove all other possible factors. Quasi-experiments have experimental groups that are already given, for example, smokers. And field experiments are experiments in their natural environment, which means what is happening cannot be controlled. The next type of research method is a naturalistic observation, which means observing the subject in their natural environment without interfering. There is also correlation designs, which studies a relationship between variables, and surveys, which ask different individuals questions about a certain topic. Lastly, there are case studies, which are detailed, in-depth studies of only one person or group. Each of these research methods has its respective advantages and disadvantages, so scientists like to use multiple methods for one question or hypothesis. Overall, this week allowed me to understand what is expected in AP Psychology for this year and a brief understanding of what will be studied. Thank you for listening.